Hey, it's Lemon. Welcome to the Backlogs. I've got another Dark Souls 3 challenge run for you all today, with a build that I've always wanted to try, but never got around to. Today, we're going to find out if we can beat Dark Souls 3 with only summoned weapons. While I build out a character here, let's go over the rules of the run. For this run, we're only allowed to use summoned weapons to do damage. What exactly a summoned weapon is will become very clear as the run goes on, but it's basically exactly what it sounds like. As an addendum, if I don't have access to a summoned weapon, such as in the beginning of the game, I'm allowed to beat down any roadblocks in my way with my fists. No cheating or exploits, as per usual, and we're going to do our best to beat every single boss in the game. Unlike most of my challenge runs, I have a pretty good feeling about this one. There shouldn't be too many roadblocks, and who knows, this might even turn into an easier run. I'm feeling pretty optimistic. Did you need something?
Yes.
Do you mind if I just do it myself?
By all means. Not bad. You got potential, kid.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm here to tell you that today's challenge run is sponsored by Chimera. No, not that kind of Chimera, this kind. Chimera is a premium clothing company that sells all sorts of comfortable and affordable clothing. I was confused at first when they reached out to me, considering, I'm a gaming channel. But when they asked me to simply give my opinion about their products and showed me their graphic tees, well, yeah, here we are. As you can see, a lot of their artwork is gaming inspired, and when I saw this beauty right here, that was it. I mean, come on, how often do you find Demon Souls inspired artwork? To make sure that the products were as good as they looked, I had Chimera send me a few items from their stock before I agreed to do the ad. For homeware, I grabbed the Darkfire shirt, because how could I not? And for outdoor activities, I got a long sleeve t-shirt. They got to me in a timely manner, came in a very nicely wrapped package, and didn't shrink or change in any way when I sent them through the wash. The Darkfire shirt looks exactly as pictured on the website, and the screen-printed graphic doesn't feel awkward or unyielding like my other graphic art shirts do, which was a pleasant surprise. As for the long sleeve, I have never felt a more comfortable long sleeve shirt. I'm not sure if these things are made out of ring-spun cotton or Priscilla's tail fluff, but good lord is it soft. And considering that the prices for all of their clothing are incredibly reasonable, considering the quality, I'd highly recommend giving one of their products a go if you're in the market for a new look. They're even offering a 10% discount for anyone who watches my video. Simply use the discount code BACKLOGS before placing your order. Thank you again to Chimera for your generous support and for being so easygoing about the ad read. They literally just told me to speak my mind about the products, no strings attached. You'll love to see it.
Alright, let's get started. We've got our anime reference sorcerer. No, don't ask me which anime it's a reference to, I don't actually know. And we can get this run started. I chose the sorcerer because it would start with a staff, and because it would take the least amount of levels to get the build ready to actually use summoned weapons. The first weapon that will be readily available to us is the Soul Greatsword, but unfortunately, it's a bit of a ways into the game, so the beginning of this run is going to be a bit rough. Because wouldn't you know it, I'm literally 5 minutes into the run and we've already come across our first roadblock. Thankfully, that firebomb run I did a few months ago helped reinforce my muscle memory, so the parries are a bit easier to pull off this time around. Maybe this run won't be so bad. Oh. Alright, got him to the second phase. In all honesty, I have an easier time with this phase than his first one. Between his relatively simple attacks and the fact that I keep poise breaking him, Gundyr goes down without too much effort. One roadblock down, one to go. I set up headquarters to my liking, then take all of Gundyr's souls and put them into intelligence. The first spell we'll be using requires 23 to use, so the quicker we get to that point, the better. Oh, and I can already tell that I'm gonna have to keep rebalancing my Estus flasks in this run. I don't remember really using spells or miracles that much back when I used to play this game, so that's going to be a bit of an adjustment. Anyway, I make sure to get the Silver Serpent Ring, then head out to the High Wall of Lothric. At this point, we're not interested in anything around us. I'll come back later for all the goodies, but for now, I just want to get to Vort. The Hound here is the only thing standing between me and my first actual attacking spell, so once he's dead, we can finally get this run started. So if you'll just cooperate, well, needless to say, killing Vort with my bare fists is easier said than done. He can still be staggered, just like Gundyr, but he doesn't take extra damage when you break his poise, so all it does is give you a half a second to catch your breath. It's slow, it's tedious, and oh god damn it, how'd he even... Okay, second tries the charm. That wasn't so... Hey Carl, can I see the game disc?
Why?
No reason.
What are you doing with that him?
I said no reason! Finally, after several failed attempts and an upsetting amount of screaming into a pillow so as not to wake my family, Vort goes down. And for the record, if anyone asked me to do a fist-only run of Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3, the answer is no! Well, at least that's the hard part done. The rest of this run involves using actual spells and miracles. It can only go up from here.
I was once a sorcerer. Surely I can be of use.
God, I love the delivery of that line. Dark Souls voice actors are the best. Usually.
Oh, our champion of Ash. Welcome home.
Thanks, Yol. It's good to be back. If you would just sell me that soul greatsword, that'd be... Yol? Where's the spell? Where's the spell, Yol? Okay, so turns out Yol won't sell the spell unless you actually put at least 1 point into drawing out your true strength. Had me worried for a minute there, buddy. Ah, there it is. Soul Greatsword. A fine start to my collection. I make sure I've got a bit more Bahama Blue, then test out my new toy. Ooh, that's gonna be fun. Let's give it a test drive, shall we? Oh, damn, this thing's got some reach. Basically anything relatively close to me and in the front 180 degrees of me gets hit. Does a lot of damage, too. Not bad. Not bad at all. Of course, as with all new tools, it's going to take a little while to get used to the timing, but after all the punching I've been doing, I don't even care. I do a little bit of shopping around the map, making sure to get all the Titanite shards I can. The more shards I find, the more I can upgrade my staff. The more I can upgrade my staff, the more damage we're going to do. Thankfully, in my research, there was only about 3 staves that stood out to me, so we shouldn't need very many upgrade materials if we do it right. And it's not like I'm well known for doing things wrong. Anyway, after getting my staff to +2 and my Estus flasks up to a respectable 6 charges, I decided to push on and get through the undead settlement. It goes well. After a little bit of teamwork with Carl, I decided to push forward towards my next weapon, because while this greatsword does some hefty damage, it absolutely devours my mana pool, and is a bit slow for my liking. I made my way into the woods, dodging crustaceans, werewolves, and pokesticks, then picked up a new weapon for myself. After that, I met up with Orbeck, who, for the time being, is actually useful to me this time around. For now, anyway.
We will learn together. It shall be like our very own school.
Uh-huh, yep, see you there. Oh no, who could have done this? Ah, there it is, the Farron Flash Sword. The little brother of the Soul Greatsword, this spell costs barely any mana to use, and is a quick cast. This pleases me. Let's go test it out, shall we? While the Flash Sword isn't exactly necessary for the Curse-Rotted Greatwood itself, it does work exceptionally well on the minions. Actually, considering how finicky the hitboxes on this boss can be, using the Flash Sword to keep my mana cost down isn't that bad of an idea. Or it wouldn't be, if my health wasn't so low. This is definitely a bad habit of mine. I tend to build my gimmick characters like glass cannons. Either the gimmick works, or it doesn't. Don't get me wrong, we're dishing out some insane numbers right now, especially considering how stupid this whole idea is. But with my limited healing abilities and the fact that 2 wrong moves means death, it can make for some frustrating restarts. Thankfully, the damage output is enough to carry me for now, and a few tries later, the Greatwood goes down. I guess we should probably use its souls for a health upgrade. Lemon, no! The Crystal Sage is up next. This one had me worried, since he's definitely not the kind of boss who's weak to magic. I was going to need a strategy. It's not like I could just wail on him with the Flash Sword every chance I get. Or I could do exactly that. Yeah, who says you need intelligence to be a mage? I cast Bonk! Oh, that makes me mad. What's worse was this was the closest I got for a good long while. Seemed like every future attempt I made was immediately curb stomped whenever he cast Mirror Image. I even changed up my strategy a little bit, opting to switch up my swings mid-combo, which worked really well. Didn't change the fact that I wasn't able to get past phase 2 all of a sudden, though. I hate it when this happens. I decided it was time to take a short break. I got a ring that would speed up my casting times, discussed parenting techniques with a fellow community member, then ran as fast as I could towards the swamp. I even tried to play fair and give the Poise Boys a chance to keep their dignity for once. They refused my offer. I really don't know why. And after making a few questionable decisions regarding my hand and fire, I made a quick detour to check in on our good friend, Big Booty Boppin'. He's doing well. I make a quick stop to pick up a pretty princess headband, just in case, you never know, then make my way to the Abyss Watchers. I'll be honest, this fight had me worried. The Abyss Watchers are extremely fast, and due to my damage being mediocre, the chances of me getting stuck fighting 2 or 3 of them at once was pretty high. I eventually decided to switch over to the Greatsword, which worked surprisingly well. You'd think the slow casting speed would be the death of me, but the damage, angle, and range all made for a halfway decent attempt. Usually. It took a few tries, and I tested a few techniques like using the staff's weapon art to help push my damage, but eventually, the Abyss Watchers went down. One Lord's soul complete. After traveling through the Bone Zone as quickly as I could, I decided to give High Lord Tony a try. Tony himself, easiest boss of the run so far. However, he did reveal a potential future problem. See that? See that bounce? I'm not entirely sure what's causing that. Normally, my magic blade goes right through enemies, but if this starts to become a thing for the more aggressive enemies in the game, that's going to be a real problem.
Wait, hold on, I forgot to tell you about Raid Shadow Legend.
So, with that looming possibility in the back of our minds, let's get on down to Demon Town. There's plenty of upgrades and Estus boosting items around, which are definitely helpful, but we're actually after one specific thing. The largest stick of them all, the Izalith Staff. It may be pretty crappy now, but if I can find enough Twinkling Titanite, this twisted stick has some of the best spell scaling in the game for sorceries. So, look forward to that. And while we're here, we might as well see if the Demon King is doable. Well, shit. The damage is bad, but the knockback is worse. We're gonna have to come back to this one. Speaking of coming back, did you forget that we haven't even cleared the Crystal Sage yet? God, this run is so weird. With the extra upgrades to our health and damage, this boss becomes much more bearable. Soul Spear combos that would have stun-locked and killed me before are just a nuisance now. Easily recoverable and mildly inconvenient. And with Estus and Baja Blast to spare, Crystal Sage finally goes down. Moving on. There's not much to see here. I high-fived a giant with my body, proved that summoned weapons are a completely viable PvP build when used against Gamers Weekend, briefly forgot how gravity works, and made my way to the Deacons of the Deep. Fellas. As expected, this fight goes nice and smooth. The Greatsword absolutely shines in this fight, taking out several Deacons at a time. Even with the arrival of the Pope and his entourage, there's really not much they can do against my incessant swinging. After a few minutes of hit-and-run tactics, the Deacons go down on the first try. Easy. With them out of the way, it's time for Irithyll. Oh shit, I forgot about the dog. It's okay, dogs can't go through walls. There, see? No problems. That's what you get, you stupid. Oh no! Oh no! Aside from becoming a chew toy, I also pick up the Magic Clutch Ring, which will give us a significant boost to our damage. And after finally realizing the importance of increasing my health bar to the soft cap, the defense debuff this ring gives me shouldn't matter all that much this go around. Look guys, I'm learning! Next on the docket is the dungeons. While I'm sure there are several items strewn about the place that'll come in handy, I'm actually here for someone, not something. Hello, Carla.
Oh, there you are. Good to know that a skinny little heretic can still turn heads.
Lady, I'm just here for spells.
You're a wicked one, aren't you?
Ma'am, I'm a married man. I'm gonna need you to calm down. Anyway, very suspicious dialogue aside, Carla sells another summoned weapon spell.
Dark Edge.
It's basically just Soul Greatsword, but vertical instead of horizontal. And,
Dark.
I'm just happy to have another spell, if I'm being honest. I think a quick test is in order. Not exactly how I hoped that would go. I'm sure the damage will get there once we have a proper staff. Until then, though, there's actually another dark summoned weapon almost within our grasp. If we can just get past Sullivan, I can pick up the Life Hunt Scythe. Needless to say, Sullivan isn't exactly cooperative. Because of how aggressive he is, I figured it was worth focusing on speed rather than outright damage. Being able to roll and cast straight into a flash sword is extremely useful for the boss. If you know his moveset anyway. And once that hurdle is out of the way, there's really not much Sullivan can do to you. Even his clone goes down pretty quickly if you focus fire. It was a bit closer than I would have liked, but eventually, Pontiff goes down. A little bit of Dark Souls 2 PvP later, and we're here. Aldrich, Primordial Goop, and all-around damage sponge. Unfortunately for me, Aldrich isn't really weak to any of my attacks, which means we're in for a longer fight. Which means not only will the second phase of this fight be a complete slog, but I also have to rebalance my Estus so that I have access to more mana, and less healing. Hooray! I tried every trick in the book. Hiding from the arrow attack, hitting him till he died, hitting me till I died. Hell, I even talked to this charlatan. And let me tell you, don't believe a word he says about Twisted Wall of Light. It works, technically, but it's definitely not the solution I was hoping for. You have to cast it over and over again just to avoid the arrow rain, which is a bit more mana intensive than I care for. Apparently Aldrich doesn't care for it much either. Not only that, but Gwindrich thinks it's funny to use the Life Hunt Scythe against me every now and again, which steals my life and gives it right back to them. I mean, it's good to know it works, but can we not use it on me? After a couple more failed attempts, the reality of the situation sinks in. I'm gonna have to grind. Excuse me for a moment. Okay, slightly more mana, slightly larger stick. Let's do this. Well, the damage is still abysmal, but to be fair, the Izalith Staff isn't exactly maxed out at the moment. The extra reach is a nice bonus though. It takes some time, and a lot of patience, but I guess the slight change of pace is exactly what I needed. After what seems like years, but was probably more like a day or two, Aldrich finally goes down. 2 lords done. Now, as much as I'd like to use it, the Life Hunt Scythe requires a chime to use, and while I could just use any old thing, I want the best. Excuse me, Emma, don't mind me, just trying to use the ladder behind you. Up ahead, Kaitha's chime lies in wait. It's the strongest chime for our purposes, and all we need to do to get to it is clear the dancer. Thankfully, with our fancy stick and a little bit of edginess, she doesn't stand much of a chance. Super easy fight. Maybe the rest of the bosses will go down this smoothly too. Who are we kidding? We both know that's not how this goes. But before we head off and get our new chime, we might as well think ahead. The chime, much like my twisted stick, requires twinkling titanite. And I for one don't feel like running around looking for it, so we might as well go straight to the source. Oh my god, hello? Unfortunately, the ashes that let me buy infinite amounts of late game upgrade materials are hidden in Dragonland, so we're going to need to clear a few bosses before we can get them. Our damage is still pretty hefty though, and after a short fight, Osiris goes down without much effort. First try, let's go. You know what? I don't feel like coming back here later, so let's just clear out Gundyr while the iron is hot. There we are. Moving right along. So, Dragonland. Much like the Firebomb only run, we're going to have to beat the Ancient Wyvern in a not so easy fashion. No plunging attacks for us, just good old fashioned hit it till it dies. But I'm not worried. This guy's attack patterns are repetitive, and he doesn't have that much health. We should be just fine. Nah, shit. Well, let's not panic yet. Maybe he's just weaker to magic than he is dark. Right. New plan. Kaitha's chime at +0 is plenty fine. Let's just move on. I gave Dragon Slayer armor a go, but we're bumping into the same problem as the other bosses. Meager damage, bouncing strikes. Ah well, nothing a little determination can't fix. Okay, a lot of determination. Well, yeah, sure, definitely inside the hitbox, thank you Dark Souls. But suddenly, a moment of clarity. We've had the tools necessary to get through these bosses the entire time. Life on Scythe never bounces. It also really helps keep me in the fight, considering every successful hit gives me a nice chunk of health back. The damage might be pitiful, at least for now, but if a miracle could be patience personified, this would be it. The same teachings apply to the dragon fight as well. Take your time, strike when you have an opening, then retreat until it's time to strike again. There was a brief moment where the dragon decided he wasn't going to take it anymore and tried to change things up, but a simple change in strategy was enough to take him the rest of the way down. Easy peasy. Well, that's about as good as everything is going to get for now. Time to throw ourselves at the next brick wall. Yorm. Carl can't save us this time. It's either complete victory or none at all. The damage is, well, it's a weird situation. If you hit Yorm in the legs, you don't get much. But if you can hit him in the arms, you'll get triple the damage. If you can hit his head while he's stunned, you'll get, well, a lot. Like, a lot. Don't get me wrong, Yorm is still difficult. Giant cleavers deal giant damage. But with the aforementioned knowledge, it didn't take long before I figured out a few methods and angles that consistently took advantage of Yorm's weak point. And after a few tries, Yorm went down like all the rest. 3 lords down, 1 to go. God? I collect a few more items on my way to the princes. Hey, that might come in handy. And finally reached the final lords at the base gate. Every other lord's soul has been an easy enough brick wall to smash my head through. How hard can they be? Okay, time for a new plan. There are about 4 summoning spells that I'm missing, all of which are definitive upgrades to the crap I'm using now. Most of them are in the Ringed City DLC, which I can't reach just yet, but one is in the Painted World. Now, some of you are probably arguing that the Follower's Javelin is an option. And technically, yes, the Javelin's weapon art is actually just an illusory projection of the blah blah blah. Come on, you're just throwing the spear. If it doesn't glow, it doesn't count. So, with that in mind, we're gonna go get ourselves a magical boomerang, because boomerangs are weapons. Terrible weapons. Now, the damage isn't great, but it does have the ability to hit up to 5 times in a row. And if you've got the time, you can actually summon 3 of them at once. Combine that with the low mana consumption and a couple other items like Flynn's Ring, and you've got a decent enough ranged weapon at your disposal. Imagine being killed by one of the worst miracles of the game. The only problem with all this is the fact that Lothric, feeble sorcerer that he is actually pretty resistant to magic of any sort. Which is annoying, because it's hard to hit him while he's hiding behind his brother's back. And there's not a whole lot of time to wail on him when he's not. So, in order to increase the damage, I figured it was about time we took some risks. No armor, combined with Flynn's Ring for an extra 15%, give or take. Miracle boosting rings to increase the damage by 32%, and Lloyd's Ring for another 10% when I'm at full health. It's not optimized, not by a long shot, but the only way to increase the damage any further would be to use items that increase my damage at low health. And we all know how well I do with that scenario. Besides, looking at it now, the damage really isn't that bad. By phase 2, the occasional hits I get against Lothric are really starting to add up, and my dodging game is finally on point. And so, after a long and stressful fight, the twins go down. No more lords, no more thrones. At this point, we could just rush the Soul of Cinder and finish the run, but I've got a few scores to settle. The biggest issue is going to be the DLCs. If previous Dark Souls games are anything to judge by, we're going to be facing some heavy resistance. Ooh, a shiny— oh no! Oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. I guess fall damage in this DLC is pretty much negligible. Oh god, get off! Get off! No means no for Elmo! Ooh, is that the door shields? Can't use them, but come on, doors. Dark Souls, are we having another hitbox day? Do you need a minute? Ah, there she is. What up, girl? Here you've got a summoned weapon for me. Here, hold these. Whew, closer than I would have liked. Zoe really puts up a fight. But hey, we finally have a fire attack now. I don't have a pyromancy flame. That leaves one more element left. Lightning. Unfortunately, there's just one more boss between me and that sweet, sweet thunder. This is going to be a bad time. The demon boys are a couple of rough customers. They've got quite a lot of health, and like to attack in tandem, which is annoying. Occasionally, I can get my disc to line up properly, but there's a lot of claws and explosions to dodge, which makes measuring the distance a little difficult. Eventually, I get them both to go down. Took forever, but we got there. Oh, right, phase 2. Why is there always a phase 2? Well, someone's angry, and has even more health and defense. Great. Oh, God, why is there so much fire? Honestly, can you please just cool it for a minute and give me an opening? Fine. If you won't give me a break, maybe your dad will. Hey, you. Control your kids. You know what? Let's see what other bosses we can bully. Wilhelm, I need less monologuing and more keys. The hell is this? Oh, shit, you could take away my magic? Look, hey, maybe we can work this out? Ah, quit! I'm a married man! Round 2 goes a bit better. Never would have thought an NPC would give me so much trouble, though. But with him out of the way, we can finally challenge all the bosses in this DLC. Let's see what we're up against. Sister Frida's health pool isn't so bad, but her moveset is a little difficult to work around. Gonna need some patience on that one. As for phase 2, it's not too bad. Just a lot of running in circles, avoiding attacks. Or trying to, anyway. This is gonna be another one of those bosses where I need to learn the moveset before I can really crush it, huh? Well, let's try the Grave Tender instead. The wolves are easy enough to dispatch, but our boy here is still a defensive powerhouse. Regular spells bounce right off of him, and even the boomerang damage is abysmal at best. Thankfully, I've got an ace up my sleeve. Turns out the Life Hunt Scythe is once again the MVP of the run. There's no bounce, I regain HP with every hit, and the damage is actually significant even when the Grave Tender blocks it. The only thing I'm worried about is how slow it is. And considering the Grave Tender loves to bring friends, this could get ugly quick. But so long as I throw caution to the wind and focus fire on the Grave Tender, it's easy enough to get it back down to a 1v1 fight. And despite a few close calls, the Great Wolf goes down without too much trouble. Back to the demons. I decided that using the boomerang was a bit too slow, so we're back to cutting off chunks of health with the scythe. And wouldn't you know it, it works really well. I also remembered a little tidbit about phase 2. Depending on which demon is the last one alive, phase 2's moveset will completely change. Leave the demon in pain alive till the end, and you'll get a second phase that is absolutely littered in fireballs and area of effect attacks. Which I hate. With a passion. Go with the demon from below, however, and you'll get less AoEs and more lasers. Neither option is really great, if I'm being honest, but I'd rather dodge a clear laser than a vague fireball explosion any day. With the strategy in place, it's now just a matter of learning his attack patterns and finishing the job. And after a few dozen tries, I do just that. Time for the good stuff. The Ringed City, one of the most difficult and lore-convoluted areas in the game. And it's got my prize. All we need to do is... oh god. Oh god. Not the cheese demons! Not again! I don't know why this is so funny to me. I guess it's because the Ashen one is supposed to be portrayed as so serious. I feel like he should always be like, no, the gods have abandoned us. We're all doomed. but here we are, just pretending. Anyway, after playing a quick tech demo of Elden Ring, I make my way down into the humanity swamps of...
Many of us are by the fire, forsaken. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
The fuck are you talking about? Whatever, I don't have time for this nonsense. We've got a lightning arrow to... okay, that hurt! Oh, it's you. I remember you. It's okay, though. All we need to do is have proper timing, and he won't hit... oh god, get out of the way! Jesus. What is this, Takeshi's challenge? Well, it's fine. We just need to... okay, have the hitboxes always been like this? Is it just me? Is it me? Huh? Oh God, you again. Alright, let's get this over with. There we are. Nothing a little frisbee golf can't fix. Hole in one! I've never actually played Frolf. Do they still have those? Sports ball aside, I make my way through 2 fake walls and collect my prize. Lightning arrow. Let's go test this baby out. Well, the damage isn't the best I've ever seen, but I'll be damned if it isn't incredibly long-ranged. Combine that with the fact that I can hold my shot until the right moment, this run is done. Down goes Papa, and down goes Frida. Ah, shit. That still counts, right? Please tell me that still counts. Ah, yeah, that counts. Victory! At any cost. Let's speed things up. I get chastised about something or other by the Iron Giant, quickly murder the Painting Guardian that absolutely should not be here, then take on Half-Light. He's too fast for melee combat, but terrible at dodging my ranged abilities. With a little finesse and timing, he goes down with minimal issue. Moving on. Next on the agenda is Midir, one of my least favorite bosses. I think I've beaten him once? Maybe? But he does have the old Moonlight spell, which I've never played with, so we're gonna have to give him a try. Considering my inexperience with this boss, it took a bit to get used to his movesets. And by a bit, I mean several hours. Several hours. And while I do hate this boss, he gets a 10 out of 10 for presentation. Holy crap, is he intimidating. It's the damn lasers, man. For the life of me, it seems like they always catch me. And there's still a one-shot even though I've got about 30 vitality. God damn it! Okay, I've got it this time. All you need to do is sprint in one direction and you'll be fine. You can't... What? Okay, so, turns out you only have 2 options during that attack. Either be behind him, where the lasers can't reach you, or get good and learn how to dodge. I opted for option B. And in all honesty, once you realize the timing, it really isn't that bad. It wasn't easy, but eventually, it all comes together. Hey Ludlith, can you... Oh. Ah well, I'll just do it myself, I guess. We'll just take Midir's soul and make it into the old Moonlight. And there you go. Fanciest magic spell we own. It even fires a projectile. I'll never get to use this. With only 3 bosses remaining, I'm pretty sure this run is a guaranteed success. It's just a matter of my own abilities shining through at this point, which might be a bit of an issue. I guess we'll see. Poke! Oh God, I just realized. I still have to edit this entire video!
Red Hood is come to eat us. To eat our dark soul.
Uh-huh. Well, you seem busy. I'm just gonna let you get back to... Don't touch me! Oh, that's what he meant. Gale, pal, that's not how it works, my man.
What? Still here?
I know, right? Ah, Artorias. I mean Gale. He's not too bad. He attacks pretty slow, and with my ranged attacks, it's not that hard to whittle him down. After a few minutes of strategic dodging, I knock Grandpa Gale into phase 2. Easy enough. Considering he just wants to lore walk at me, this shouldn't be too bad. Here you go, Gramps. Take your lumps. Oh God, you could do that? What are you doing? Why are you just sitting there taking it? Nah, looks like my Estus to mana ratio was off. That's disappointing. Could have killed him on the first go. Weirdly enough, this fight is almost unfair with how easy it is for my build at this point. Maybe the dodge timing has just finally clicked for me. I don't know. In any case, I feel really bad for Gramps here, so I'm just gonna let him have this one. It's abundantly clear that we can beat him, and since I don't need the souls and this video is going to be late as it is, let's move on. 2 bosses left. Time to see if the Nameless King is as big of a roadblock as he was the last time around. Spoiler alert, he's not. Not even close. He may look intimidating, and in phase 2 he still hits like a dump truck, but in comparison to the other bosses I've been fighting up to this point, this guy's a meek little kitten. Dodging through his attacks is effortless in comparison to the bullshit I've been through, and my damage is pretty hefty, if I'm being honest. In the end, a disappointing fight. Dark damage OP, please nerf. But with him out of the way, only one remains. The Soul of Cinder. Time to finish strong. And that's it. Dark Souls 3 beaten with just summoned weapons. Not as bad as I thought it would be, if I'm being completely honest. I guess Dark Souls just doesn't burn as much as it used to. Maybe it's time we turned our eye to more tarnished pastures. But that's a question for another day. Thanks again for watching. Take care of yourselves, be good to one another, and I'll see you all again soon.